Yeah, appreciate it, appreciate it. And then, what made you actually want to look for things like this? Is this your first passive income, quote unquote?
Well, like everybody, all the testimonials talk about, we've all been kind of enticed into different things, looking for the true, passive opportunity out there. And I looked at other things. I had an Amazon store. Unfortunately, went into a lawsuit, similar to what Aaron shares and many of you guys talked about.
Yeah,
So right there, and it really resonated with me when I came across your guys' opportunity over a year ago. And I looked at it, talked with Julian, I think originally I talked with him, and then it
yeah,
wasn't the right time. And then we in the process of a move, and then we settled in here and just came back to it. It was the right time. We had the capital liquidity to start into this opportunity. Obviously, a lot of trepidation and concern about risk,
mm,
like all of us have. But just looking at what you guys offer in terms of, again, the validity, the integrity stands out to me. I've
right.
talking to you guys, the way you are very open and transparent with things, the way Aaron is presenting his family, his faith, that's deeply personal to us too, having a faith and with people that are in alignment, values, their family, their legacy, and that's what we're about.
Yeah.
So yeah, just really happy with him.
No, yeah, it makes perfect sense. And then, because you came from Amazon, right, and other industries, right? And then
Yeah.
you started looking into something like this, which is more like, automated trading. I'm sure there's been, because of the algorithms, other companies, other things came up as well. Were you in conversations with those also, or is this something that you
Not
just saw and came
Not
in?
really. I looked at them lightly after I heard about you guys, and then kind of looked at some other bot systems out there where you have to take it on yourself and get engaged with the trading. And I've
Mhm.
looked at option trading. I still have some platforms with options, doing it myself. There's covered calls or buying short options or buying puts and calls and all that. But in terms of bots, I saw your guys' comparison. Obviously, there might be a little more upfront costs, but in
Right.
terms of the expertise that I don't have, I want to
Mm.
put it with people that I believe, after doing the due diligence and vetting it out the best I can, to say, hey, this is really legit. And I think that what you guys stood for, and again, that transparency word is huge. A lot of the testimonials we see of people sharing that same thing is saying, are these guys really real? There's a lot of fakes, a lot of scams.
Right.
They're taking advantage of people. And so just seeing that now and seeing the evidence after, being involved really since August, really getting the capital working and seeing the returns coming in, it's really inspiring and encouraging to see.
Yeah, and I
So
understand, like, this is all hands off and everything, but you had to like set it up first, right? Before it becomes hands off, we had to like create the account for you. You had to like show you how these things work. So how was that onboarding process with your client success manager?
it was pretty easy. I mean, other than we had some challenges with the money funding because we have a trust established, family trust, and the funds that were in a different account, it caused some little hiccups. So we were about 3 weeks to 4 weeks delayed. It was
Mm,
more on our side more than the side. And then also there was another Axis trading platform that you guys were rolling out at the time
mhm.
before Ox or after Ox, I should say. So
Right.
we were pushing it that way, and then we pivoted back to Ox and had to move the funds and different names. That's what caused the delays for me. But other than that, it would have taken probably a week or so, I'm guessing. But because of our unique situation, it took a little longer. But David was great. The communication was good. Just really walking through it, and just understanding what the process is and going through that with you guys.
And
So
how was that feeling moving things around? Because I know like people get a little weird that it's like out of country kind of thing, like
yes,
out of state
yeah.
kind of thing. So how was like that? Did you feel weird about it? Were you comfortable with that? Because I know you
A
do
little
have some
bit.
experience before.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, wiring internationally is always a risk out there. You're saying, hey, where's this going? Is this really going to the place it's intended to?
Right.
Something could take advantage of me. So yeah, that's legit for sure. Had a lot of concern there, but as we walked through it, seeing, and I think you emailed me back and some communication saying, here's how you do the process. Here's the account information, just to make sure you're reassured you're following the steps and you
Right.
follow through with that. And
Right.
yeah, but that getting over that hurdle, I guess, that anxiety of, oh no, there's so much fraud and abuse out there. Coming from the medical, I've been in corporate sales for years, most recently in the healthcare space, and there's a lot of fraud and abuse. I worked in the Medicare industry a little bit, so seeing that stuff, it's
Yeah.
sad, right? People's money
Hmm.
being taken advantage of, and so you want to establish that trust, and seeing the way you guys walked us through that process and communicate. And it's a team approach. I was emailing you directly. You're like, hey, just respond to the team and we'll all jump in there. So that's great.
Right.
So
Hey,
yeah,
that's good. That's good to know. And you're one of them that just like, jumped into this program with one of our premium, packages. How's it been since then, as far as the result?
solid. I mean, again, there's always that, okay, should we have gone in the slower pace, maybe there at the gold level? My wife and I looked at it. She's a very numbers driven. She's looks at numbers very succinctly and has a background in accounting and finance and stuff. And so she saw it. She goes, let's look at this. This makes a bit more sense for our family and our situation to jump in at the highest level, down level, and have more. Your return splits are better. Your higher level,
Yeah.
the 95-5, 80-20s. So it gives us more access to more trading platforms there. So that was something that we saw. We're in a position now. We're blessed to step into that. My wife has a very good corporate job, and it kind of freed me up to look into these opportunities to establish, to take calculated risk. I've taken some foolish ones, like I think many of us have. You're like, what did I do there? Get into things, don't follow through. It's on me. Some of them are, again, legitimate scams. And so I think with social media and things we have access to us in today's society, it's nice, but there's also things that are really questionable. So it's
Yeah,
nice.
understood. Yeah.
But,
And you're also more diversified in that, right? Because that's really important for us because you want to make sure you have all your eggs in different baskets,
yeah,
but also as long as those baskets are actually uncorrelated, right? And they don't
absolutely,
have to do anything to do with the other ones, right? Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
so it's good to have that.
yeah.
Um,
Diversification, non-correlation.
right. And you mentioned that you already are, right? And you just added the
Yeah,
Sigma.
yeah, we have our own, exactly.
Are you into your brokerage account? Or sorry, are you in your PAM account at the moment?
I can be. Can do it.
Yeah, yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Want to see how's it been. And then curious on the Sigma because you put that one recently as well.
Yeah, let's see. You see that one there?
I don't see anything yet. I don't know if you're sharing
Yeah,
it. I think it's loading. And yep, there it is.
you
So
got it.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you're in 5. So yeah, I'll walk you through that because I know you added the Sigma. You still have more that you have access to. You don't
Yeah.
have to add them, and I think we talked about that before as well. But you do have access to that, right? So I want to make sure that you do because the Sigma is 80-20 profit split.
Okay. Okay.
Right. But it's still good to have that one because sometimes it outperforms the other ones, right? So that's why it's good to be diversified across all the ones that you have access to.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it looks pretty good. And then it looks like you're diversified properly because even though it's not the same exact amount all around, you're not like moved all over, right? So it's good diversification there. And then you just added the Sigma there to try it out. So I see that. When did you add that?
Just yesterday.
Okay.
After we spoke like before Thanksgiving there, about a month ago, 2 weeks ago, we spoke with you. We kind of talked about it. My wife, she took away that maybe there's other, again, opportunities we're missing here. So maybe there is, if there's something you suggest, we're by all means, we're open to hearing that.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
You're not the advisor of that specifically, but we're definitely make sure
Yeah.
we're not missing. We have 3 other strategies that are available to us.
Yeah.
The crypto, I kind of feel like the gold's taking that risk, high risk part out for us. I think that's fine. I don't necessarily have to be in crypto, but what your thoughts were?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. It's good because you have a different asset class, which is high risk, but it's not like to the point where you're risking it all, right? And then
Right.
you can see that it's the second best performing, or sorry, the third best performing. It's not the best performing, even though it's high risk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then also I think you missed the part where that particular PAM account made 20% in the month of
Back in
June.
June.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that would have been a different number there, but you
Yeah.
don't know when it's gonna happen. That's why it's good to
That's
be.
life, right? That's the markets, Like Darren said, they'll say, "Well, guarantee you guys offer." He goes, "Well, what risk, class, has that, right? Nobody does. Nobody offers. If they did, it's a lie. It's a scam. It's like, what guarantee in the markets are you going to get? Whether it's equities, bond, whatever. Real estate. We just bought we're in the process of buying our second home right now. So
Right,
diversifying in real estate. So yeah, it's just the real reality of living.
right. And look, and then, I mean, look, even though you don't have like all of the PAM accounts you have available, actively working right now, you still made over 10,000, it looks like, since you started. And what you started with, like 100K or what did you?
Yeah, 100K liquid capital working. Yeah, just a little bit over. Yep.
Right, so already over 10% since you started there. What does that fall like from what you were expecting though? Because I know like people have different expectations and especially
Yeah,
using like
it's right in
different.
line, being realistic. I mean, you have to look at that standpoint, right? You guys don't want to under promise and over perform, right?
Mhm.
So just being cautious and understanding that's what it is. The greed factor of all human nature is out there. You're like, oh, I want more and more. I'm like, no, it's just a slow, consistent pace, and just make sure you trust the process that you guys have put in place.
Right. And another good point is like, how much work did you actually have to do to make this?
Right, very little. It's
Right.
exciting to check in daily. Probably, you guys say that. You have to check it. You don't check your 401k every day, right?
Right.
You know, so give it some time. And yeah, there's days I don't, and then days I just enjoy it because I have some freedom. I'm kind of semi-retired status. This has kind of been my assignment in our
Yeah.
life. My wife and I are empty nested now, and so we have a lot of some time and freedom. She says, "Okay, coming out of the corporate sales management for years, and I'm
There
like,
you
okay,
go.
I've always had a dream to be an entrepreneur, looking at different opportunities like we all have here, and coming across this, going, wow, this is really working, you
Yeah.
know, and there's an investment involved."
Yeah. And I know you said you check in every once in a while, but like, we all humans. I know at first you check it every single day, right? So
Yeah.
like, when did you, if you ever noticed, how soon was it before it started actually producing anything?
Within a couple of weeks, a week or so. I mean, it was started seeing the results come in, the appreciation, the growth was happening consistently right from the beginning. I mean, doesn't matter. I can't even tell you back. I could look at some of these reports, and it'll show that a few hundred here, a few thousand here, and it's starting to accumulate. And
Yeah.
having more capital at work, obviously, higher returns.
Right, but you don't have to like rush that, right? That's why, whenever you
No.
start getting comfortable, you add as you go or take out as you go. So I don't know if you've taken out anything yet, right? But
Yeah, we took out and we put back in with the Sigma. I kind of carved off some positions here, the balances on those other, the
go.
Delta Magna and gold there, and put it into Sigma.
Well,
So
there
then
you
we
go
took the
then. Yeah.
profits. We had it sitting there for a while, like a couple of weeks. I was like, oh, I gotta get this capital working and to put it in a savings account for now, because like you do, guys advise that. Take those profits. Didn't realize, but I also wanted to get the diversification into Sigma and other opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate, you showing me that. Just wanted to see, from that, because you mentioned that even though there were other competitors, you really, really spent much time with that. You kind of like jumped into right away because of the testimonials, Aaron's story, and things like that. So I guess like another point that you touched on is like the scammy people out there in the industry, or how long people are gonna be there for. So you being here already for several months and seeing how things work, seeing the communication, how long do you feel like you will be here around for the service?
Well, that's always the big question, but yeah, I see you guys are building something, strong and credible and longevity. I mean, there's a consistent theme I'm starting to hear more and more about. You guys are in this for the long term. We have the same common goals, same value system, it seems, across the board. And so, yeah, I'm encouraged to see that you're building a legacy out for the future. The more traders, more, you guys are always looking at something, like you said earlier, doing your homework, and understanding what it takes to put, so your clients are not at risk. So you guys are kind of capping it out as about 1,000 now. Is that what, Aaron, you guys?
Over, a little over about, yeah, a little over now. Hmm.
You can manage and help support that system, right? Your ecosystem itself. That's important because if you get overextended and you can't get back to you, so the communication breaks down, the trust starts to slip, and you're like, oh man.
Right. That's why if you notice, because back once upon a time, I had to do all of that myself.
I heard you the legend.
So it was like, although I managed, it wasn't like the best to what I wanted customer service to be, right? So, and then also, or the higher up seeing that as well. So that's why if you look on Slack now, you have other people than just me, there to be able to help as well. Although I'm no stranger, I'm always able to get on Zoom whenever you request it if you need to, or you want to just uh, get more understanding of how the payment account works, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that we get that a lot also, you
Yeah.
know. And then I guess like my next question for you, if you had to like summer up ATN, I guess in one word or one sentence, what would it be?
One word, one sentence. Integrity. Doing what you say you're going to do. I mean, that's important to me. That's your faith claims, but those things are important to say, hey, we trust this group of people that we're going to work with, that they're going to do the right thing. If you guys have your own vested interests in there, the traders are invested too. And so I think that's huge for me, having integrity and character follow through with it. And again, the testimonials are out there consistently. You guys are putting yourself out there, Aaron's family. Again, those things can't be said enough because it's shows something different from other systems out there. They're always
Right.
going to hide behind the scenes and kind of like, no, we're not sure we can disclose it. Not everything, of course. You got to be personal things out there to protect, but overall, that integrity and trustworthiness is key. And it shows through. And you're reaching out to me like this, hey, I want to get a testimonial feedback, and those things are, and I'm watching the ones that come down out regularly, and people sharing their heart. These guys are legit, these guys are real. They are who they say they are, and that's important. I want to leave my family this, leave a legacy, and maybe get my children involved in something like this. We have other investment programs we're doing too, and diversified, but this so far has been very pleasant.
Nice, nice. And I appreciate you saying that. 'Cause that's obviously something that we had in mind, as far as the transparency. Because of course that, you don't have to do anything for this to work because it is hands off, but it is good for you to have a good understanding what actually is going on in the market and your business, right? That way you have like the best decision for yourself, right? And know what to do, how to move. Although we'll be able to, from our experience, guide you, right? But it's not something to just forget about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, exactly. It's like that fine balance. Know what's going
Right,
on. They're not in the trenches every single day. I understand. I learned about the Forex, the currency markets, how big they are compared to the equity markets, and it's really been insightful to me.
right.
Appreciate it. But just have enough knowledge there, Julio, to be.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate that. All right. Sounds
Yeah.
good. But like I said, any other questions probably happens as soon as we hang up for some reason. So you can ask on
Okay.
Slack, you can request another call like this one. I don't mind.
That's great. Thanks for your availability
All
and reaching
right.
out to me. I look forward
Thank
to these new
you.
accountants, new opportunities coming out. So
Yeah, for sure. And I'll make sure I put them on Telegram.
sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.
Hey, good to see
Well,
you
take
again.
care. It's a pleasure
Appreciate
once
it.
again.
You
Yes,
too. God bless. Bye bye.
Right.